Search of a bass player.
Oh, your bass?
Wake up.
All right.
Oh.
I guess we're in search of a singer too. Folks, this is going to be a very loose service. We hope that you're going to have as much fun as we are, okay?
Okay.
Good morning. It's so wonderful to see you today. Welcome to this gathering hosted by the Unitarian Universalist Church of Bowling Green. Whether you're here in person or online, we're so glad you decided to join us today. My name is Michelle, and I'll be your service associate. Before we get started, I would like to remind everyone to put their cell phone on silent, if you would, so that we can be fully present with one another.
I wonder, Michelle, could we ask the people that don't love to sit in the back row if they would sit on the sides here, so they'll be able to see a lot better and be able to participate easily. So if you don't mind moving, please move. Thank you. That was
Okay.
a public service announcement.
We're in for a wild ride today. We are a welcoming congregation and flexible too. Whoever you are, however you identify, wherever you come from, and whoever you love, you're welcome here. Our speaker today is our Reverend Deane Oliva, and we're so thrilled that she could take time out of her busy schedule and responsibilities to be with us this morning. Our first hymn, maybe I should go back up a little bit. So as we mentioned before, things are a little unusual today. We have an unusual seating, an unusual format and order of our service. So I invite you to relax and just lean in, participate, laugh with us, and join in the fun. There is time, there could be time that she's going to ask a question and get an answer. I would like to invite you to make your answer a one-word answer. Not one paragraph, not one sentence. Just a simple word will do, because she's doing a whole lifespan of faith development today, and that could take a minute. We do have our congregational meeting afterward, as you may remember. Already, I think we're ready for our first hymn.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Number 361, Enter, Rejoice, and Come In. Please stand as you are willing and or able.
Wonderful.
Maybe seated.
Nancy, would you join us, please, up here for the announcements? Nancy. So we just have a few announcements today. The big one is the congregational meeting is happening after service. There is a lunch that's provided in the fellowship hall, and then we'll reconvene here at 12:30. Secondly, we have a coffee house coming up in July, so get your act together and let Tim know. And it'll be great fun. And Nancy has an announcement about Juneteenth and needing some volunteers.
With Lisa Del Porte's guidance from her camper trailer, I'm working with the social justice group here at UU and the League of Women Voters to register voters next Saturday at the Juneteenth Festival. It's going to be at Soki Fairgrounds. A sign-up sheet is going to be passed around for just short shifts. Maybe you could take a little time out of your day and come out and help register voters. Lisa shared last year great strides were made with the African American community here in the area by working together at Juneteenth, advancing this church's desire to have a relationship together and partner on common goals. So perhaps you can help. Thank you.
Thank you. For Unitarian Universalists, the flaming chalice is a symbol of the light of learning and the love of our community. Today, our chalice will be lit by Derek. And while he's doing that, we will sing Rise Up, O Flame.
Rise up, O flame, by the light glowing, show to us beauty, vision, and joy.
Our opening reading. We come together this morning to remind one another to rest for a moment on the forming edge of our lives, to resist the headlong tumble into the next moment, until we claim for ourselves awareness and gratitude, taking the time to look into one another's faces and see their communion, the reflection of our own eyes. This house of laughter and silence, memory and hope is hallowed by our presence together. We will now have the offertory. This congregation and the work we do is supported by the voluntary generosity of all who contribute. The offering is a sacrament of the Free Church.
When I wasn't home each week, Sunday we would go to church and pay attention to the priest, and he would read the holy word, consecrate the holy bread, and everyone would kneel and bow. Today the only difference is everything is holy now. Everything is holy now. When I was in Sunday school, we would learn about the time Moses split the sea too. Jesus made the water wine. And I remember feeling sad that miracles don't happen still. Now I can't keep track, 'cause everything's a miracle. Everything's a miracle. Wine from water is not so small. A better magic trick, 'cause anything is here at all. So the challenging thing becomes not to look for miracles, but finding where there isn't one. When holy water was rare at best, I better wet my fingertips. Now I have to hold my breath like I'm swimming in a sea of lead. There used to be a world half there, having second grade hand-me-downs, but now with the reverent air, 'cause everything is holy now. Read a questioning child's face to say it's not a testament. That'd be very hard to say. See, another new morning comes to say it's not a sacrament. Tell you that it can't be done. This morning outside I stood and saw a little red-winged bird shining like a burning bush, singing like a scripture verse. It made me want to bow my head I remember when church lit out, and things have changed since then, 'cause everything is holy now. It used to be a world half fair, heaven second rate, hand me down. I'm walking with the river in there, 'cause everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now. Everything, everything, everything is holy now.
Thank you for these gifts. May we use them wisely. Speaking of gifts, today we are using fans. This design was done by Becky Davis, so I'm sure she's in the fellowship hall. When you see her, tell her how awesome it is. And we are going to be responding with it. If you don't have a fan, would you raise your hand and we'll try to get you one? Okay, so if the greeters would take care of that for us. So people with their hands up, just keep an eye out and wave her down when you see her. With your hand, until you get a fan. Alrighty. We will now have a few moments for meditation, reflection, and prayer. The singing bowl will lead us into silence. After the silence, we will sing Spirit of Life. Maybe I'll wait 2 seconds. Behind you. As mentioned earlier, maybe, Unitarian Universalists have a wide array of beliefs, and the speakers of our Sunday services come from many traditions. Here today to share her own thoughts is our very own Reverend Deane Oliva.
Okay, yay.
New equipment, thanks to our tech team.
I want to start out with a few public service announcements, and one is I am so grateful to the team that put this service together. Michelle and Forrest, my goodness, you have gone above and beyond. We have all decided that we're laughing our way through this service, and we're going to do that. So, you know, there's a saying that God laughs while you're making plans, right? And we were planning on working on this service, and then we had a tornado. No, we had a series of tornadoes, and as you know, I'm a Red Cross volunteer. And I didn't think too much of it. At first, I only got one referral, and so I went out and did damage assessment for 4 days. And then I went to a training institute for the next 5 days, which brings us to Thursday. And then I got 29 more referrals. And then on Friday, we got 89 more referrals. And today, we got 30 more referrals. Now, I will not get all of them at spiritual care. But what that does mean is those people who feel like they need some extra comfort, okay, that they can get it. Because one of the members of my team will be handling that. Of course, in Kentucky, we don't have very much of a team, so it's going to be a lot of work. But these two people just, I mean, they were there, and Michelle has been copying and doing cute little things here that helped me out immensely. But it also did mean that we were working from 3 different computers and 2 different apps. So let's see what we're going to say now, okay? And you're to laugh at that, okay? Yes. Laugh at that. And also, the fans are to be held up for questions, and please do. Now, here's the other thing that you don't know. Cassie, our lovely office manager, held pictures for us and then sent them out. Unfortunately, many of the pictures had no names attached to them. So, if your picture is up there, you might want to raise your hand when that picture comes up, and then people will know. Otherwise, if you're an adult and you sent me a picture that happened last week, everybody will know. Okay? Okay, let's see how we work this.
Rock-a-bye, baby, on the
Sing.
treetop. When the
Wind blows, the cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall, and down will come baby cradle. I mean, did you ever really think about the words to this song? Why do we sing it? Okay. Truly. Yes. Who remembers when they were a baby? Raise their hand. All right. Yes, you remember that well. Good for you. You probably look like one of these, okay? And if anybody raises their hand now, they're lying. Okay? But one of the first things we adults realize, okay, with the birth of a baby, is that they are totally dependent on us. Okay? Everything is dependent on us, and we are filled with love, hope, despair, and immense fear. Right? Okay. Babies learn through grasping and feeling and touching. Okay? Their random movements become more focused, okay? And they can reach for things, They become more mobile. They start, and you all know how this happens. I'm not going to go very much into the developmental aspects because I think we know them once we push a button. They develop a trust. And that trust is that food will come. That trust is that light will turn into darkness and then back into light. There are many things in their environment that they learn to expect. The sound that they hear, their parent, their caregiver, they expect that person to come back. They expect that sound to reoccur, and that sound is going to feed them, okay? If they hear different sounds, they don't know what it means, and they develop stranger anxiety. They get scared. Mm-hmm. So when does our spirituality begin? Oh, I know. Got another. Hold on. Oh, who's that? Who's that, guys? Somebody's lying. Oh, okay. You think it might be you. Natalie says it might be me. Okay. So infancy. In infancy, we learn object permanence. We know that things are going to come back. Okay, everything is done through our senses. Mobility increases. Trust is developed. Okay, a little later on we'll get to autonomy and shame. But faith is undifferentiated. I mean, kids don't know what to make of it. But, for example, as infants, Hindus and Muslims, they shave the baby's head, wishing within the first few days to show that they are a servant of Allah. For many Muslims, the first taste is something sweet to remind them as they age to speak sweetly, and the first word they hear is whispered in their ear by their father, and it is Allah. Okay? So God should be the first thing that you know. Hindus pierce ears to get rid of negativity. Jews circumcise males. And the kid didn't have any say in that. Also, Christians and Muslims circumcise males, which I did not know. Catholics baptize to rid the child of original sin. Sikhs go to the temple. The holy person there opens up the holy book, and whatever page it lands on, you look at that hymn, and that begins with an O. That child's name will begin with an O. Okay, so we have many, many different ways of doing that. And the kid didn't have anything to say, but that is beginning their spiritual path. How many of you grew up in UU homes? A home that has a UU. Okay, 1, 2, yay. And I guess our 2 youngsters here can raise their hands. Raise your fan. Okay? This is typical. Okay? We're a relatively new faith tradition, and nobody knew about us, and families had other faith traditions that their families had been following for years. But we grow quickly. And let me see. Hold on. I think. Early childhood. As we age right through that toddler period, our motor skills become functional. We can run away from anybody. And we develop competency in symbolic thought. And what that really means is, like, if I say red block, you can picture a red block in your mind. That's symbolic thought. Concrete, me-focused language expands rapidly. And secondly, we learn that action has consequences. An important question arises for this age. Am I dependent on everyone else, or can I do something for myself? And so we learn to do things for ourselves, okay? I'm wondering if anybody who's young can dress themselves. Can you dress yourself? Raise your hand. Yay. Okay. Oh, you can too. Very good. Okay. So we learn the consequences, and we try and we gain absolutely new skills. We begin to develop a sense of purpose, of control, and self-direction. Now, we're trying to be obedient and avoid punishment at this age. That's our main goal, okay? We don't want to get in trouble, okay? We do things in the hope of gaining skills, and sometimes that works out and sometimes it doesn't. So we have guilt and shame that start about 18 months to get in there. Faith tradition. In some homes, religion is a very big factor. And let me ask you, how many of you were born into a faith tradition? Okay. That's a lot of you. Dolls, Bibles, kachinas. What else was introduced to you at that age, preschool age? Stories? Rosary? Hell? That's right, the concept of hell. If you don't do this, oh, okay? So we get into shame and guilt, don't we? Saints. Yes. Yes, so we get into a lot. And how about Jesus loves you, this I know. Huh? That was you? Okay. Were you Jesus or the one? Right, you were, right? Okay, so that songs that feature, okay? Stories. Okay, you got little picture books, okay, that tell you, oh, this is what you believe in. And every time you say, oh, Mommy, God, Mommy, Jesus, parents light up, okay? So you are being indoctrinated into that faith tradition. And at that early age, usually you're pretty agreeable, okay, because you want that praise. Okay. So, talking about God and the stories, we're praised for our knowledge of these beliefs. They feed our sense of self. Rather than a complete picture, we have a series of impressions about religion and what it is. Now, let's see what we got here. Who's this? Told ya. Isn't he the cutest? Who's this? Natalie. Okay. Who's this? Boy, we're copping out here. Just, okay. Roxanne. Okay. Who else we got here? Jeff. That's Jeff. He's not here. Okay. Who's this? Gladys Weatherby. Wow, cool. And we already said this one. Raise your thing. That's Connie and her daughter. Okay. Okay. And we have here, let's start over here. Oh, okay, we won't. I know that one's the last one. Who's this one? Okay, the one on the far right. There she be. Okay. Okay. I saved this one to last. Who's this one? Tim and Forrest?
No, don't think so, dear.
Okay, and Tim said in this that this was the last picture taken before he went into the next phase. And that next phase is school, of course. And once we reach into school age, our whole world explodes, okay? Many new people, many new things to do, many new ways of thinking. Okay, we're still at the concrete operational stage, but we now can think in our head. We use logic, on a very, low level, because things have to be tangible, they have to be seen, touched, or experienced directly. But physically now, we have gained all the fundamental skills for doing whatever we might want to do, let's see, blah, blah, blah. So we can join games, we can join sports. What do you remember? Duck, Duck, Goose. Who remembers that? Nobody remembers that, right? Who played Duck, Duck, Goose? Come on. Come on. Okay, competence is developed not only in activities, but also in social skills. So we begin to interact with kids not only on a one-to-one basis, but in a group basis. So we're becoming more group identified, okay, and we develop a sense of belonging, a critical need in our overall development. This leads to a sense of self-worth, and failure to do so, these kids just feel worthless and inferior. Okay, let me ask you right now, how many of you were into sports during school age? Wow. How many of you music? Uh-huh. How many of you were the nerd? No. Who's the talker? Oh, come on. Bunch of introverts. There you go. And who's the thinker? Who's the deep thinker in this group? Okay. So at that age, we weren't really thinking that much because we don't have the logic yet, okay? Okay, but we're into those activities that we could actually do. Oh, there it is. Okay, not there yet. This is the long one. Okay. Authority figures expand. They're not only your parents, but the church figures become more important. The law becomes more important. All these other adults, and of course, teachers. How many teachers do we have in this room? Ex-con. Look at this. I mean, we are a group of, and there's only one other group that rivals them, librarians. Okay. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Okay. So, moral development. Okay, this kind of moves here. You're still interested in right and wrong, but you're more interested in it as it pertains to me. Okay? So it's no longer black and white. It's beginning to shade. It's beginning to shade. It's more individualistic. There's greater emphasis on social rules and expectations rather than the law itself. So it's no longer a complete black and white, right and wrong. Spiritually, faith at this level becomes the stories that they are told. And what that means is you're not just listening to the stories, you're beginning to take them in. You're beginning to ask yourself, what does it mean? The rituals practiced. Did you go to First Communion? Did you receive the Lord? Did you do any of those things? They become more real to you, okay? Since school-age children have the ability to differentiate fact from fiction now, they can begin to grasp symbolism of the icons and the rituals that they've been with all these times. Is there anybody that lost faith in their faith tradition during this period? Okay, several of you did. Yeah, okay, and that really begins to multiply later. These stories and rules that you learned, they either become part of your faith system or you reject them. And yet, and a lot of this comes from your old storytelling, because drama, when you begin to make up stories, and if you remember when you were a school-age kid, you made up all these stories, you played fake roles, put party dresses on and played mommy and daddy and played rock climber and Superman. Okay, but because you're doing all of this, okay, you also are aware of, okay, a story, good story, has conflict. It has competition. It has conflict and, lost my words here. Contrast, conflict, contradiction, all of those things that means that everyone's not on the same page. And so that's what you're taking in right now. Everyone's not on the same page. Okay? Now you may go, who went to a religious school in elementary? Okay. There are a few of those, and I noticed that some of those were the ones that lost faith in their faith during that time. And that's not unusual, okay? I mean, how many people, sorry, Catholic tradition, how many people want to go to church every single day instead of going out and playing something else? Spiritually, faith at this level becomes those stories, the rituals, okay? And I've already done that part. But what you're learning is that you belong to a particular community, okay? You are a member of the Panthers, the Tigers, okay, the Apostles. You've got both a religious group, a school group. You probably have a family group, okay? If you're in a different atmosphere, you might have Japanese Saturday school so that you won't lose that, okay? So these groups further define who you are in the way that your family tradition is growing you up to be. And you are now just beginning to say, wait a minute. You know, I mean, I remember saying, what do you mean unbaptized kids can't go to heaven? It's not their fault. Okay, I remember that so distinctly, that was so important to me. But my religion was telling me this, and what did that mean? Okay. Yes. So you learn to understand that other people have different beliefs. So, did you attend a faith group as a youngster? What one did you attend? Faith groups. So some of you were in faith groups as kids? Okay. Did you go to Sunday school?
Did you go to Bible class? Bible school? Catechism? Summers? Revival? Okay. Okay. So, were you participating in those rituals or were you dragged to them? Now, if you were a UU kid, what might you have been doing? UU camping? Okay, we have Susie. Yes?
Fishing minnows out of a pond with a little clothes hanger and an old piece of candy.
Well, of course. You mean you didn't do that in your religious ed? Okay. You might be making a chalice. Okay, that might be what your religious group does. You might be participating in a pagan festival, because we have lots of those. You might be walking a labyrinth. Okay, you might be going with your parents to a social action protest. Certainly you would be going to religious education. So I asked this question in a different way, but how many of you began questioning your traditional faith at that point? Not leaving it, but just questioning it. Yeah, you're very strong on that. Mm-hmm. And that's part of your new abilities. That's actually what. So religious, social, and competitive groups blossom. They blossom. Okay, let's do it again. Religious, okay, all of these groups blossom.
You're out. Take me out to the
Ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack.
I don't care if I ever get back, and it's root toot for the same team. If they don't win, it's a shame, for it's 1, 2, 3
Three strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Who's gone to a baseball game or a softball game? Who's played baseball? Softball, kickball. Okay? Y'all are joiners. Okay, who's this? Lisa Del Porto. Who's this?
Ah, good. You got it. Yeah.
Ken. Uh-oh, that's a good slide. That's a great one. Who's that? Who is that? Thank you. Oh, they're the words to take me out to the ball game. Well, there we go. Twice. Where are we? Hold off on that. Okay. In adolescence, social relationships became of paramount importance, and they greatly influenced the building of our ego identity. And what happens as we begin to build our ego identity? Hold on, I'm going to move somewhere else. There it is. Okay. The big word here is confusion, right? Is there anybody that missed that stage? Just raise your hand. Yeah. Okay. So we become, we know we use abstract concepts and we use them all the time, and we're doing everything we can to figure everything out in every area of our life. And who do we turn to? Friends, peers, yes. So that's a big shift, right? And they become more of our authority figures. And in doing that, we may have several groups of friends. We may develop different personae, okay? Good kid in one household, okay? Then running out and experimenting, shall I say, in other areas. Okay, so as an adolescent, you are doing more things than you can put under one hat comfortably. Your skills become more individualized. You realize you are never going to be Mickey Mantle. Show my age. Okay? You are never going to be Simone Biles. Okay? You're just not going to. So you switch that emphasis. Maybe you're going to join the bowling club. Maybe you're going to play chess. Okay. The wide array overwhelms teams. Okay? And they have to fit. They often experiment with different roles, activities, and behaviors. Their social sense, though, is the big one. The development of an ego identity is active and constantly changing. Constantly changing. How many of you would describe your adolescence as happy? That's an interesting response. We got the pause, the let me think about that. Yeah, maybe I was happy. Okay, right? Okay. How many of it did confusion rule? Yeah, a few of you there too. Okay? Okay, so nowadays, the word that really scares me, how many of you thought that school was a feral place to be? Feral, F-E-R-A-L, feral. Okay, yeah, so that was not a very pleasant place to be then. Not at all. Not at all. So we all come from different windows. We all come from different experiences. How many of you felt safe in school? Think about the difference now, please. Okay? Oh, exactly. But you know what we do? How do we ground ourselves? I think this is fascinating. As adolescents, we ground ourselves in the conventional moral standards, law and order, the expectations of the larger group. It's perhaps an anchor in choppy waters. And that's also what happens in faith. We follow the same trajectory. First, the team claims their family faith tradition as their own. They learn about it. They understand it. Okay? The group is solidifying their hold on you. Okay? And for many, many people, they stay there for the rest of their life. This is one of the final phases of faith development for them. They're in this faith tradition. They love it. Their group is there. And they follow it for the rest of their lives. Okay? Others continue to search. Okay? If you're UU, and I need help, Delaire, please tell me the name of this word. I have been worried about it all morning long. Our teenagers go on something, and Janine, yeah, thank you. What is the name of the retreat they go on as youngsters, as teens? We did it here. Our kids went.
I didn't know on that retreat. I don't know what it was. My kids went, but I didn't, so I don't know.
Wow, because it's the most cool thing in the whole world. They went for 3 days. You go in, and I remember our kids slept in the bell tower of a church. Okay, they developed their own services. They developed their own support groups. They talk until all hours in the morning, and they develop best friends with members from other UU churches in the region. It's a really great thing to do. Emily Webb turned out to go into ministry because of it. Okay. My daughter remembers it fondly. It's a wonderful thing. I hope when our kids become teenagers, they get to do this. And if somebody doesn't remember the name of that, I'm going to go crazy. Okay? No, it's not a summit. It's a team something or other. Okay, if you are a UU, there's something else we do that most other religions actually shy away from, are terrified by. We do the OWL program. Oh, Elizabeth, thank you. Our whole lives. And our whole lives is a grounding in intimacy and sexual relationships, okay? We try and do it with other churches. We try and invite another church, a liberal church, to do it with us. And it's interesting, the kids all want to do it, and sometimes the parents go, not on my dime, okay? So the youth are the highlight of the church year. It's the highlight of the church year. It's a safe environment for them to explore. They've just relished it. Okay, and none of you obviously attended that. And it was life-changing for our kids. Unfortunately, for many religions, particularly to UUs, we lose our budding young adults to 2 other developmental challenges which stand out.
Hi ho, it's off to work we go.
Okay? The major challenge is forming intimacy and loving relationships. That's what all the kids want to do, and they've got girlfriends and boyfriends and Bothers the heck out of me that you ask a 4-year-old whether or not he has a girlfriend. I'm sorry. Too young. Too young. Okay? An understanding of reciprocity is essential, and some teens don't get that until the end of that time. Success. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Hold on. Okay. We don't have milestones. Okay. Who's just starting school? Do we have anybody just starting school this fall? Nope. Okay. Who of you have a advanced college degree? A lot of us do. Okay. And who of you have had a fulfilling work environment? You poor things. I'm just so sorry. You got a few more years, though, okay? Graduating from high school? Everybody graduated from high school? Not yet? What? Graduated from middle school? Yay! Oh, okay. So there are lots of stopping points here for educational milestones. Are some of our older adults in school now? Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. Learning never ends. And what is it? SSL? Do I have that right? Oh, yay! SSL. Okay. That's a lovely slide. That's a lovely slide. Uh-oh. My God. Oh, you saw yourself, didn't you? I mean, doesn't she look exactly the same? I mean, come on. And who is this, though? Ken again, yes. Okay. So in young adulthood, we're forming loving relationships and we're working hard to do that. And we did that one already. But the young adults are wrangling even more and in larger numbers, questioning their faith, authority, and religious communities. And a lot of times that takes a back seat. They just stop. It's okay, I'll deal with this later. And what makes them start dealing with it again? What's the major reason that adults start looking at faith again? Children. Yes. Okay. But they're searching. So when you were a young adult, okay, and we're talking here, whoops, sorry. Come here, baby. There, 21 to 35, okay? Did you have a faith community then? How many of you are active in a faith community? Okay. How many were active in their family's faith community? Is it still the family faith community? Maybe so. Yes, I got 2 or 3 yeses. It's the families, but mostly it was a different faith community. Okay, now, how old were you, and we're going to do one-word numbers, were you questioned your faith?
34.
Everyone's in young adulthood. Nobody didn't question it until later. They didn't find something till later, maybe. Okay. How long did that phase last? Still, thank you! Okay, yes, okay. So as we move into middle age, we enter an era of many changes because we've already gone through this. And you know, intimacy, obviously, our love, isolation, people who are just not good at social relationships, they often end up with health problems. And I thought that was very interesting. But let's look at the last. Hold on. Okay, that's the wrong word, guys. Oh, I lost it. Sorry. Okay.
Mama told me there'd be days like this, there'd be days like this. Mama said.
Thank you. Okay. It's got its own mind. This way. Nope. No. That's what I've been doing, guys. Aha! Bet you don't know who that is. Roxanne? Who's this? I recognize that guy. There they are. Beautiful picture. Ah! Having children. That's Jeff. Who's this? Michelle. Oh, come on. Who is this? Jan and Nancy? Jan, you going to own that? Thank you. And who is this? Nobody knows. Take another look.
You.
Okay, unknown. Who joined the military? Military service? Anybody else too? Come on. I thought we had a picture. There we go. Who's that? Jeff. Okay. Adulthood. I saw the word. Aha. Oh, okay. We have to put this one in. Don't you love us? Forrest, where's your picture? Yeah. This was taken 2 days ago? 2 days ago. This was taken 3 years ago. Okay. Let's see what else. Do you think that's funny? I do too. Now, I love this. Grad school. Who is it? There's no way you're going to guess. He says, did he put up his fan? Yeah, put your fan up. Is that not amazing? And this one? And this one? Who is this? Oh, we wouldn't guess who that one was. Beautiful picture of her, though, isn't it? Okay. So the thing that's different here, and let's just move right into that because you know all the rest, is generative. You begin to think of, what's my mark? What am I going to do for my family and my community? So besides your career advancement, you're also looking for how do I make something that's have a legacy of one sort or another. And this becomes important to you. Conjunctive faith development. I love that word, conjunctive. Okay? And this goes from adulthood on to maturity for those folks who have not stopped earlier. It suggests that the person has ordered all these disparate thoughts about religion into a framework that's comfortable for them. It may not be a specific organized religion, or it might be something that's a very liberal religion that can handle all those disparate parts. Okay, but you're comfortable. And they also realize that the answers are not always seen. A sense of importance of community develops, and often an openness to other people's faith perspectives, which includes the possibility that these perspectives might influence their own, so they're open to change. Did you leave your old faith community at this time, and this was before? Were you ever unchurched? Who's unchurched here? Who was unchurched before they got here? Yeah. We spent that time. We did our dues. Okay. When you joined your new faith community, were you active in it?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And did it add to a sense of belonging?
Oh, yes.
Cool. And this is the wrong page, so that's kind of cool, because we're just about done here. So that you've developed this faith. And what does the UU Church give you when you get into community? Well, that faith, form of faith, it's a sense of community, a sense of belonging, a sense that all beliefs are possible to help you in your own faith development. It's a sense that that your sense may not be the only sense in the world. Okay? So that's what conjunctive faith is. It's an openness, and that follows you through the rest of your life. Let's skip that. It's noon. We're gone. Okay, and the last one is just the elderly one, and the only one I want to point out here is integrity versus despair, because I want to ask you. And hopefully I can ask you this. Here you go. Okay. Went away. Okay, but I know what I wanted to ask, don't I? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. I'm just going to ask the final questions now. How has your life gone? Are you okay with it? Fast. Much faster than you thought. Yeah.
I think my middle age to maturity,
Uh-huh.
and that is a loaded word for me,
We'll deal with that later, I see.
have been much better for me, despite setbacks and things like that. But it really, we're late bloomers in my family, so I think it just took me a long time to grow up.
But you are working hard on it. Okay, so there are complications, and we've all had. How many of you had health complications? Let's just be real here. How many of you older people have lost some of your cognitive skills? Physical skills? So those changes are developmental too. We start moving back in the other direction. But how about our reasoning skills? Have we lost them too? Most of us, not so much, okay? They're still there. And now there's one more stage, and that's universality, okay? And they say nobody reaches that except Gandhi, Martin Luther King, Mother Teresa. Those are the folks that are open to changing the entire world. And we may have some of you in here right now, okay? Thank you very much for listening. Thank you very much for contributing to this service. I appreciate you. Namaste. Oh, Matt and Lisa, complications. Complications. How many have had complications, right? I'm going to move this on. Oh, while she's getting that together, we got some social justice going on here. We've got some community building on here. There are people we've lost to moving. That's the Natalie we know and love. That's the Jeff that's MIA today. That's right. This is where she put all the pictures. Sorry. Group pictures, though. Look at that excitement. Interesting. Bad. Who's that?
The Webbs.
Huh?
The
You ready?
Webbs. Charlie.
Oh, for gosh sakes, that's Susan Thayer. Okay, sorry. These are all group pictures, so. Okay. Individuals, raise your hands. Who's this? Oh, I know who that is. Yeah. That one?
The Hanners.
That's Claudia Haynes, yes.
The Hanners.
Hanner and Hanner. These are a couple. Right. Oh, God, you did put a lot of pictures at the end. Okay. Who's that on the end?
That's Adam.
Adam.
That's Tammy. The Tims.
The Tims, all three Tims, or three of our Tims. Right.
Wes.
Whoops. Is that where we are now?
Yeah. All right. We may be ready for our closing words. To be alive, not just the carcass, but the spark. That's crudely put, but if we're not supposed to dance, why all this music? Stand if you're willing and able for our last hymn, please. It's number 311.
311, yes. Let it be a dance. Stand if you're willing or able, and dance if you wish.
Dance if you wish.
dance. Everybody turn and sing. Let your body learn to bend. And move with the wind. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Woman, hold aside. A time for joy, a time to cry. And take it as we passing by. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance we do. May I have this dance with you. Through the good times and the bad times too. Let it be a dance. Morning starts out at night. Out the darkness there's the light. And night will grow and nothing's right. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Let it be a dance. Like the sunshine and rain. Share the laughter, bear the pain. And round we go again. Let it be a dance.
We'd like to say farewell to the friends who have joined us online. We hope you found this service meaningful, and we invite you to join us again sometime in the future. Be well and go in peace.